showing the Bicol landscape. It's very similar with, I think there are 107 private institutions in Bicol, 9 state universities and colleges, 16 local universities and colleges or community colleges for 132 institutions. All right, let me now show you the summary of our roadmap. Now we start with outcomes. We have 2 outcomes. The first major outcome is Filipinos with competencies and high-level skills for national development and global competitiveness. The second outcome is ethical and innovative governance. For each of these outcomes, we have strategies. For outcome 1, strategy 1 is to expand access to quality education and training. This is animated, so I'll either do it myself or just look at my signals. The second strategy is to develop competencies required for inclusive growth, particularly in key employment-generating sectors. And the third strategy is develop globally competitive HEIs and programs. So you can see that corresponds to what was in our title, access, competence, and excellence. For our strategy 2, essentially we have for our outcome 2, we have one strategy, which is basically implementing good governance. These strategies are in line with the key result areas of the Aquino government, which are depicted in red. Essentially, each of these strategies corresponds to one of the key result areas of the Aquino administration. They also correspond to the higher education reform agenda and the CHED strategic plan. So that's the summary of our roadmap. Let me go through this one by one. The first strategy is to expand access to quality education and training. And our action for this are the following. First, provide financial support to students. And here we have our various types of financial assistance programs. We have grants in aid. We have student loans. We have the Student Grants in Aid program for poverty alleviation, which is a very new program which essentially focuses on the poorest of the poor, the CC, student-aged children from the CCD families, the community, conditional cash transfer, or the 4Ps program of PSWD. We also, this is not, this is something we like to point out, and it is asterisk, because there is the Barangay Grantees program that exists. It is mandated under RA 7160 of the local government code. It's still, that is still somewhat controversial in the sense that these scholars do exist, but these state universities and colleges always raise to me the fact that nobody is paying for these barangay scholars. So they said, saan magagaling yung tuition? We take them in because that is the law. So we're still finding where the resources for this will come from. I always include it in my presentations because it is a good reminder to government, whether it's Congress or DBM, that we have to find the funds for this because they are a drain on the state universities and colleges. I also include here the subsidy to students in public higher education institutions, because the point here is all students in any public institution are, for all intents and purposes, subsidized. whether or not it's the University of the Philippines or some small community college, these government funds are being spent, for these students. So that is in a sense a support for a financial support to students. Action 2 is very interesting. It is to provide programs for learners in special circumstances. Let me go back to the scholarships, because basically at this point there is a bill in Congress, a very important bill, which CHED supports very strongly. This is the Unified Student Financial Assistance System for Higher and Technical Education, or the UNIFAST bill, which is trying to harmonize and unify all government scholarships and grants in order to make it more effective and more equitable. So we hope that will pass. We have very strong assurances that it will pass in both houses. Okay, so now for Action 2. This action refers to programs that are intended for students in special circumstances. The Expanded Tertiary Education Equivalency and Accreditation Program, or ETIAP, is a program through which skills and competencies acquired outside the formal system are evaluated and accredited towards a degree. The philosophy here is, it is not just in the classroom that learning takes place. So if you have work experience, if you have experience as an older student, you can now, through the ETIAP program, claim academic credits for this. The Ladderized Education Program, on the other hand, recognizes units earned in technological and vocational programs. So you can get, again, credits in a 4-year bachelor's course, 4 courses that you have taken in TESTA institutions. And for distance education, this is very important because it helps overcome the barriers of geography, of personal or work commitments, where you cannot be at the classroom in the regular schedules that usually govern these types of programs. So we find that a very good access, good access mechanism. A third action point is modernizing facilities and resources of developing state universities and colleges. Very recently, 87 developing state universities and colleges were given funds for infrastructure out of the much maligned Disbursement Acceleration Program. SUCs that are classified as level 1 and level 2, and those that do not yet have centers of excellence and centers of development were given a certain amount of money. The minimum was about 3 million each to help develop their laboratories and buy equipment and so forth. The fourth action point is dissemination and transfer of technology for productivity improvement and livelihood development through research, development, and extension. Now here, essentially again, the leading universities, through their extension programs, were supported to provide, to transfer these technologies to communities, and also to improve farming and other production systems and products to generate livelihood and employment in areas that have been identified, for instance, by the National Poverty Commission, Anti-Poverty Commission. So the types of projects that were, in a way, transferred from, the technology of which was transferred from higher education institutions to barangay